Hello everyone, I'm Wendy May, Chef Wendy. For today I'm going to be talking to you about gluten-free eating in the South, gluten-free cooking as well. So today I'm going to talk about some simple things, some things which I believe are important for me. One of which is the need to enjoy what I eat. And now that's sometimes difficult. People ask me all the time, Wendy, what do you recommend for a nice salad? So earlier in an episode, I made potato salad. Now I'm getting ready to make kale salad. Now, first things first about kale, you must, and I mean this, buy organic kale. Do not buy non-organic kale. Kale is heavily chemicaled, and you need to make sure that you buy organic because that is pesticide, herbicide free. I buy my apples that are organic. All of my berries are organic. Pretty much any basic thing that I buy, raisins, organic. I just think that if we're going to talk about, and I kind of cheat sometimes because I know I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, it would have been nice if there was still some in here. So maybe a bag or open. It happens to the best of us. So, some people will say, well, why don't you buy a bag with these already in them and you wouldn't have these problems? Well, I have a granddaughter. She's 5. And if I'm going to have raisins around the house, she's probably going to eat, I want to make sure they're good and they're organic. So, first things we do is we take our organic boxes of organic raisins. We dump them into a bowl. This is my bowl, so I'm going to put it right here in front of me. Make sure you keep yourself and your kitchen clean at all times. For some of you may know that even the best chefs in the world sometimes hurt themselves. So I cut my finger earlier. So I have a Band-Aid on it to keep the blood separated from my food. I have pre-prepped my ingredient list, and just follow along if you can. People think, I sometimes wonder myself, so do you go to the store with a list in mind, or do you go to the store and make up your list as you go? Well, it's highly recommended that you have a food shopping list, and I'll tell you why. It's critical. I think it's a critical mass that you know what you're buying. Last box of raisins. These raisins are on sale. Organic raisins today were on sale in the boxes, so I bought them in the box. A little bit more garbage, but we'll get there. We get there with our garbage, keeping our garbage separate. Okay, so we have our raisins in. Then these are organic berry blend. So I mix those in, and I'll tell you what, I like a whole bag. I mean, there is 5 ounces in this bag, so what's the big deal? Now, I also like to have organic cranberries. And somebody said, wow, that's a lot of fruit. Well, I'm putting in about half a bag of cranberries. And there's a reason that I'm mixing about a half a bag. It gives us a nice blend. The next thing I'm going to do is cut my beautiful organic apple here. And I peel my apple straight down, sometimes with a knife, not with a peeler. Some chefs prefer a peeler. I prefer just to cut it, trim it down. And I don't waste the peel. Trust me, I have other uses for it. I waste no food. And that's a critical thing, guys, that on a tight budget, which as a veteran and disabled veteran, I live on, I am very careful about waste. And so one of the things that I try to do is prevent my waste and preserve what I do save into a place that ends up not in the garbage. So I need a bag, so I'm going to take out some groceries that I got, put them on the table. I usually have a waste bag right here below me. And that gives me the opportunity to take those for the compound of taking them out and putting them in a compost place later. So now I have a peeled apple. I'm going to cut it in long dices. I'm going to separate the seeds as they come out, because apple seeds are pretty awesome, but they're horrible when you go to eat them. So I cut this down to really just core out what I don't want. And of course that is going to go directly in my bag. So that when I'm making this and I'm really attempting to use every single bit of the apple, I will. I also know that, you know, waste not is a big factor. So I will come down with this, and I will again cut them in slices. And I know there's a level of what I'm going to do, so I just make sure that I have them at that point. Now guys, I don't want to bore you to death about how to cut things. Size does matter in some things, but the way you cut it doesn't matter. So when you are chopping, you can use a chopper. I like this. This is an all-purpose chopper, which allows me to chop and then also pick up. I don't like giant apple chunks. I mean, there are some places that I have been that, I'll be honest with you, the apple overwhelms the kale salad, and it's so big sometimes that it's, look, you do it the way you want it, I'm going to do it the way I want it, is what one of the chefs used to tell me all the time, and my home economics teacher told me that if you're not cooking it, size and cuts really don't matter, because we're just going to get this stuff in and we're going to marinate it in a sauce, a slaw sauce as some people would call it, coleslaw sauce. And we're just going to mix our apples directly in to our mix. So as you can see, this is all my fruit that I'm putting in there. And next I will be adding to my fruit my ingredients that are special. So guys, let me get my third ingredient because it's in the refrigerator. So I use a little bit of Hidden Valley coleslaw mix. And I just put that in first. I don't put a ton of it in, but I do put some in. And this is the best that I could find because it has the less of the chemicals. So now I've got to mix it. So I'm just kind of using a mixer, a standard mixer, hand mixer. But normally I would get in there with my hands. But because I cut my finger on this one, I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to mix it by using 2 spoons. This is organic coconut milk, USDA organic coconut milk. And it's the next ingredient into the mix. Now, I'm going to pour half of it in. Leave half for when after I put the kale in. Next is organic mayonnaise, which is always fun if it can't open it. There you go. So we have organic mayonnaise, and we are going to take half of this organic mayonnaise, and we're also going to put it in there. And we're going to leave the other half for after the kale. So we're gonna take a spoon and we're gonna mix it thoroughly, so that the apples and the raisins and the dried fruit and the cranberries all get mixed in here, because it's so important. Now I'm gonna tell you, it's also important that you salt and pepper stuff. So now it's time for a little pepper. And then I happen to like Himalayan pink salt. Some people use kosher salt. I pour it into my hand here. And then I mix it. And why I like this pink salt, it's Salt 84 is the brand I use. And one of the reasons that I like it is because its taste. It's not overwhelming. Sea salt has a very overwhelming taste sometimes. Kosher salt really does. And I'm really happy with my outcomes from using that. So now I have a humongous pound bag of kale. And you say, wow, that is not going to work, because that's a lot of kale. And you're right. So I am probably going to use about half of this kale in this salad. And I'm just going to take the salad kale and just dump it in. Because you know what? It's been mixed, it's been cut, it's been washed. And so now I'm going to, again, find my tools. My favorite tools, all-purpose, and I'm going to start hand mixing in this bowl my mixture. So usually my hands are what I use, because with this you just have to get under and turn it. You got to get under and turn it. You gotta get under and turn it. It's just, this is very hard to do without using your hands. And I could go get a pair of gloves, which I should be putting a pair of gloves on anyway and doing it that way. But I don't have, I don't have it right now to go do it. So now I take the rest of my coconut milk and I pour that over top of the kale. And then I'm going to take the remaining amount of mayonnaise, about half of it I suppose, maybe, you know, I won't use it all. I'll use about half of the remaining amount in it, and I'll save the rest for something else that I do later. Now, I still have some cranberries, because remember I preserved those. And what I'm going to do next is pull, if I can. Okay, had enough. That's when I just go like this and say, you know what, I'm throwing it away anyway. So now I've got my kale, I've got my cranberries, my apples, all mixing together. And you know, it's amazing, because I know that deep down this is probably one of the easiest recipes you can do. It needs to be chilled, covered and chilled. So this bowl does not have a cover. But you know, it's pretty good. Trust me. I can get down there and get some of that up, and get that juice in, and get that kale in there. And now, since I'm done starting with this, I'm going to taste. I want to add something. Not a lot. If I can get it open. Because 9 out of 10 times. I can't get my, there you go. So now this is apple cider vinegar from a mother. As you can see, the mother is really good for you. I'm going to shake it really well. I'm going to get 1/4 of a cup. About a fourth of a cup. And my friends ask me, well, you use a lot of vinegar. And I'm like, no, I really don't. But this is apple cider vinegar from the mother. I'm just going to sprinkle it over the top. I'm not going to stir it. And I'm just using 1/4 of a cup. And I happen to use, this happens to be Briggs, right? Briggs, the best that you can buy. I am very happy with that. I keep my tools and everything pretty clear. I'm just going to press down on this now. I'm not going to toss, I'm going to press down. And then I'm going to go over to my refrigerator, where I usually hide my silverware, a silver wrap. And I'm going to take a piece of silver foil. And I'm just going to put the silver foil together and say, thank you very much. I'm Wendy LMA. This is Gluten-Free Eating in the South. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.